What do clay, Posca markers, and martial arts have in common? The Downriver Council for the Arts. Welcome back. I'm Michelle Porter, President of the Downriver Council for the Arts Board of Directors. I would encourage you and invite you to come into the Downriver Council for the Arts at 81 Chestnut in Wyandotte, Michigan, to engage in any number of art opportunities. One opportunity that you'll have at the Downriver Council for the Arts is engaging with clay.
I am going to make a trivet out of clay, and this clay was in a ball at one time in a circle fashion, but I flattened it out and kind of got it ready for this demonstration. But the first thing we want to do is sprinkle a little bit of talcum powder on here to get so the clay doesn't stick to this background board. The board itself that I'm using is just a piece of plywood. And from corner to corner, because it was a square, I was able to divide it into 8 sections. And that's what I'm going to do on this particular trivet or piece of clay that I'm working with. So I will set this pretty much in the center here. The way this becomes evenly flat is 2 little sticks go maybe on the edge like this, and then a rolling pin would go across here and stabilize the distance so it stays nice and flat and even. Those are also used when I make the lines to initially start off this trivet, which I'm going to divide into 8 sections. And the way I do that would be to just take a stick that's fairly substantial and make a little crease like that and line up over top of right here so I get a divided section. And then again over this way, pressing it firmly so that you can see the line, but not too hard. And then get in at the top 90 degrees here, right in the center. So now that that's done, the surface is fairly smoothed out nicely. I will pick up a tool. I have a lot of different tools here. Let's say I'll use this right here. It's a regular sculpting tool. But whatever I would do into one section, like let's say I put a line right there, I will rotate my piece of art and just keep putting that same image into the same place in the division that comes from the 8 sections. And being, fairly close, it doesn't have to be right dead on. In fact, a little bit of variety could be nice. Let's say I take this little stick with a pointy end on it, or how about this one right here? It's a little curved piece, and I might go like this and just go 1, 2, 3. Then I turn and go 1, 2, 3. And again, all the way around. This is very relaxing and fun to do. You don't have to be in a hurry of any sort. You take your time. But getting them, close to each one being symmetrical to each other, is probably a good idea. At least that's what I've been doing. So now I may take, one of my favorite things is a popsicle stick. It could be broken off at some point like this, and then you get a little pointy side and a little round side. That's kind of fun. So, and let's bring it down a little bit and just do 2 on this one. Your patterns, I think, you know, thinking them through is a good idea, but also just being spontaneous and picking something up and looking at it and deciding where it might look the best is a nice approach to this method. It's fun, but you could think it through. You could actually draw something up, I would imagine, on paper and get a concept of what you wanted to do here. Another fun thing to do with popsicle sticks is to take maybe, like this one, I took a rubber stamp and just glued it onto the end of a popsicle stick. It's a little curvy kind of a thing, and it looks pretty neat. So I'm just going to put that in the center right here. And when you press it, you get a feel for how soft your clay is. This happens to be fired earthenware clay. It will be fired at 1850 degrees, cone 4. But if you don't have a kiln and you still want to do this, you could go up to your local craft store or other department stores in the area and find air set clay, which is never does hit the kiln, but it can react the same way as this type of clay does. As far as the malleability of it, rolling it out, it just doesn't need to be fired. So when you're done, you let it air set, which is a pretty easy thing to do around the house. In fact, a lot of these things you could find probably a rolling pin, some boards, popsicle sticks. This is a top of a plastic container. Now this will make our the size that we want, the round configuration. Try to get that baby in the middle so that you're hitting the centers here. And then what I do is I'll press down on it a little bit to get it engaged into the clay, pressed in there. And then using some sort of a sharper tool, I'm using an X-Acto knife here, even a knife that may be not as sharp could be used, like something like this. But at that point, what you're going to do is just go around the outside of this, pressing through the clay. All the way down to the board. If you can do it in one slice, that's a good thing. If you need to rotate around it more than one time, because it doesn't go through, that's fine. Just you'll find out when you go to lift the outside of the clay off of this. I prefer earthenware clay or a fired clay by kiln, but like I said, the air set clay is fun and it works. So then we're going to peel this guy up. This will be saved for another job or some other time. Take this off. And now we might have a little trimming to do here as far as cleaning up the edges a little bit, but you see a line already that you can work with. Some of this should have went off on the first try, but we're okay here. Now at this point, you can see where the edges of this is, and you'll clean it up a little bit later. But now let's say we take, this is the round part of a popsicle stick. So let's say we just go here and go, one on this side and one here. And then again, we repeat ourselves. We'll clean these edges up if you see that's not even right now, but we'll get it a little bit later. The edges are round, but you can configure them if you choose to. Maybe take a little section out of where the lines come to the end here as they follow through. A little pie shape removed from it. It adds some nice detail and makes it look more interesting, I think. I don't do it to all of my pieces, and there's a number of things that you could do. You could maybe make a section out of the middle, or make it square, or make it rounded, however you want to cut something away from it. But it's really enjoyable. It's relaxing. It's a little bit repetitious because you are repeating something. This happens to be 8, but we could do 4 or we could do 6 divisions depending on how you want to work and how you put your lines on your board that you're working with. This one is, like I said, 8. So that's I'm not saying it's done. You could go around the edges and clean this up and all that. A really good idea at this stage right here is to gently take your piece and turn it over. And this would be the time when you would want to maybe put a little slot in the back so that you were able to hang this on a wall if you wanted to do that. And you could just take a little section out of it that makes a little notch in there so you can put it on the wall. There's a lot of different ways. Another way, actually, if you wanted to, is just get a drill, a large size drill. I didn't bring one today, but put a hole right in the middle, and that would provide a way to hang it up on a wall or upright. These come in, you could do them in smaller sizes. The clay that's offered in the stores are either white or red. You could come up with a red color, or you could take 2 clays and marble them together before you do it. See how there's a marble effect on that, and blend it together, and then do this project that way. Other tools that you could find. This is an interesting one. It's got little lines that just kind of recess a little bit. And let's say we just plunk this guy as a final kind of maneuver with this project and lay it in there. I think that the most fun, or I find it to be fun, is when the time comes to color these. After it's dried for a while, the air set clay would take about 24 hours or more. And after a piece is fired in the kiln, it's time to color it. And if you want to, you could put a patina on it, different lights and darks, or paint. I've got some samples that I'm going to illustrate here with color. But that's basically the process for making a trivet. When your trivet is completed and dried, the fun part comes about now, and that's when you get into the coloring. There's a number of methods and a number of different mediums that could be used. It's nice to think about sections of your 6 or 8 sections, the same color maybe in a different section of the treatment or the pattern. Some of the things that you could use would be acrylics, watercolor, tempera, gouache. There's a number of different ways of putting colors in here. I find that some of them, if you look at this, it's crackled like. I don't know if you can see that very well, but the crackling comes from something called chroma crackle, and it actually, you put it on and it dries after a while and makes a pattern, which you can put color over top of that as well. Having a variety of colors, picking maybe one green type of a thing and then having different hues or values of it is an interesting approach. But it's really fun. After you're done, to give some protection to it, you might want to put a clear lacquer or almost like a hairspray or an acrylic over top of it. Could be a treatment that would keep it from chipping or being harmed and washed. This is something that you're going to hang on the wall. It's not anything you're going to put in a dishwasher or anything. So that would be a process that's really the fun part, is coloring. So have fun doing that too.
Hi, welcome back again. In this next segment, we talked to Dan, a resident artist at the Downriver Council for the Arts, to find out what motivates him when he creates his art.
I think my creative process always starts with looking at things, looking at nature, looking at other artworks. A lot of my artwork is inspired by traditional icon painting from the East, and that's kind of a window into another world. And even though I'm inspired by that, I just don't kind of copy the icons. They kind of roll around in my head and they come out in a different kind of a way. And so they're traditional, and yet sometimes they become very modern because of the interaction with my own mind. Yeah, the creative process is very important to me. It's really something that's ingrained in my bones. It's something that I need to do. It's almost like a fire inside sometimes. For many years, I could only paint around the corners of things. I had a demanding job, and it got more demanding with COVID. And so I had a little corner of my basement that I painted in, and I could only do it on weekends or some evenings, and I did work a lot of evenings, so that was a little tough. What would I tell my younger self? I think I would tell my younger self to trust myself more. Artists are very sensitive and very, can be hurt very easily by criticism, and sometimes that's caused me to shut down. And I think I would tell myself to trust myself, to be wilder, to really follow my instincts a lot more closely. Well, even though I do all kinds of different art, one of my favorite subjects is religious art, and particularly the face of Jesus. I find by painting Jesus, it involves me with his message, his spirituality, and it just connects me more deeply with my faith and with my religion. This particular piece is kind of a very soulful expression of the subject of Jesus, and by painting it, it's really kind of a prayer for me. Oh, art is so important to our lives. For me, art is very spiritual, and I don't say that because I'm a religious person. I think all art is spiritual. People from the earliest times have put their handprint on a cave wall and decided that, somehow this shows people that I'm here, that I've produced something, I've made something. And I think we all need that. Whether your spirit of creativity is cooking or in keeping a clean house or even in raising your kids, there's all kinds of art. Art isn't just painting. Art can be many things. And I think we all have that need and that desire to say, I'm here, I've done something, I've made a difference. And so I think that creating things is absolutely essential to the human spirit.
Have you ever thought about combining mediums? Drawing and painting, drawing and marker? In our next artist interview series, we talk with Dominic, a painter who uses a unique paintbrush, the Posca marker.
One time in second grade, my good friend Natalie drew an eye, and everybody was so impressed. I'm like, I can do that. And then I tried to do it, and I had to work on it, and I just never stopped working on it. The journey along the way is putting markers of all sorts in front of me, all colors. I put my preferred paper, what paper I like to work with at that time, and then my brain just grabs colors. I'll just start grabbing pink and drawing and scribbling, and next thing I know, an image is occurring. And I'll take other markers of different colors, without any actual external decision and just grab and go. My eye does the work for me. My eye is more trained than I am. I use the markers to make it look like paint by very heavy saturation. I used to think as a little kid, like if I could just have a coloring book if I want to draw. I never imagined working in art would be primarily trying to color yellow for 8 hours straight. That's how I get the color, is saturation. What inspires me to work on art is I will catch something in my eye and it'll leave an imprint. That imprint stays with me. When you look up at the lights and close your eyes, you can see purple and green. When I look at trees and want to draw a tree, I close my eyes, I see the color pink and orange. I go home and I might want to draw that tree. But next thing I know, there's a blank canvas in front of me. And then whatever occurs, occurs. There's no rules and there's no bringing choices into it. If I'm told what to draw or try to direct my subject, it's not going to occur. Art is important to me because it's a bridge and connects me to community. Whether it's local, online, or expanding across borders, it has brought me to other people who have given me more than I could ever imagine and love and nurture. So for me, art is important to me and inspires me because it brings me to community. I want people to know that art isn't about what it looks like in the end for me. It's about the process. Think about when you're a little kid and you have sand and there's sand castles. It seems like that's something only adults can do. They put the bucket together in the water and they push the sand and suddenly there's a ball. Next thing you know, they dump the bucket, there's a castle. I want it to feel as magical as that. I want you to feel fun pushing pigment, whether it's crayons, markers, anything like that. Follow your flow, follow your creativity, follow your process, and the results will come with it.
The Downriver Council for the Arts has gallery space on the lower level dedicated to community groups hosting exhibits for free. ARC, a local nonprofit who provides activities for individuals with special needs, held their annual fundraiser in our community gallery.
Well, we're at the Downriver Council for the Arts. This is a community gallery, and we're having an art show that comprises the art from the special needs group in Wyandotte, the program through the ARC, it's called. And we work on this artwork on Wednesday nights. There's about 18 students in our class, and we have, I want to say 4 or 5 helpers every night when we work together. The students love to paint. We can see them getting better all the time. Their work is amazing, and it's just so nice to watch them develop and grow. We have opportunity to be at a place called RK. It's in Southgate. Actually, it's next to the Olive Garden restaurant. They let us use that, and that's where we have our classes that we paint and do mostly acrylic painting.
So we are an organization that services 18 communities in the Downriver area. We work with people with disabilities so that we can help them to get out and transition into life with a job, independence, and they have paid employment.
I work with Elroy in the art program. So the art program's been together now 10 years. Patty Iso was the start of the program and Elroy has taken over. We have about anywhere from 17 to 20 students. Some of them have art ability and some of them do not. But like Elroy always says, it's more than art. So some of them need more help than others, but through the help of other artists and Elroy with his direction, we're able to complete and have some fabulous paintings that we put out every month. And as you can see, we have our art show, which is held twice a year. And at the end of the class, I always say, it's good to come back.
Downriver Council for the Arts and Hagera Health is proud to introduce the Self-Esteem exhibit. This exhibit's going to invite our Downriver Middle Schools and High School students along with the art teachers to create art that will validate the uniqueness of an individual, which gives a rise to a sense of accomplishment and a feeling of self-worth. This will be the first of a series of expressive therapies or art therapies. Art therapies, of course, is more of the drawing and the painting and the expression through that media, and also sculpturing. But expressive therapies are the music, are the dance, are the movies, are the theater. Those are the other parts. So by putting those two parts together, we can really reach out to a great amount of people. And these people can be children, young adults, our veterans, our seniors, addictions. We can help in recovery by using art therapy and expressive therapies. You know, we're so lucky to have a relationship with the Henry Ford Hospital. And there's artwork up there by the cafeteria that's made by the artists here at the Downriver Council for the Arts. And that artwork is for sale. And the money that we're going to get for that artwork is going right to the Downriver Council for the Arts Art Therapy Program.
The Downriver Council for the Arts is committed to connecting art to the community. We partner with others in the region to strengthen arts and cultural relationships between groups while engaging artists. One way we do this is through our satellite exhibit program. This offers us a way to curate art exhibits in non-traditional, sometimes unexpected spaces off-site. It provides people the opportunity to engage with art outside of our gallery, and artists have a chance to sell their work. We are grateful for partnerships with organizations like Hagera Health and Henry Ford Wyandotte Hospital to make the arts accessible. We look forward to the upcoming Self-Esteem exhibit with Hagera and are grateful for artists like Andy who are passionate about the project.
All the money that is going to be collected from this selling of the paintings behind us is all going to go towards the Downriver Council of the Arts and for families and children in young students programs of art, so art programs that the DCA is going to be doing, and art therapy. And I think that as a hospital in the local community in Wyandotte, art therapy for students and young minds is so important, and we don't only contribute to the physical well-being and health of our community, but we also want to be a part of the emotional and the mental well-being of our community as well. And what better way to do that as to be a part of a partnership like this, and to make sure that students and families and children get an opportunity to take part in art and be creative.
For that artwork is going right to the Downriver Council for the Arts Art Therapy Program. It's awesome. I mean, at least you're giving some money and having something to hold and show for, you know, it's great. But if art is not the thing that you're looking for, we could use your help in this way too. Find it in your heart, write a check to the Downriver Council for the Arts Art Therapy Program. We could use it, and we could make differences in our community, in our Downriver area. Thank you very much.